Are we live now? Okay, there we go.
There we go. Hey guys, we're
go.
live, as it tells me. We are live. We've had technology issues all day. I don't know what is happening. The one and only Linda Levesque. Linda is an amazing healer, a masseuse, a Reiki master, NLP. I mean, she's an LMT, things behind her name, and she is going to do a live Reiki session on me. And so what I want you to do, Linda, please, is introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, and then tell them what Reiki is, because I think a lot of people don't know.
Okay. Thank you for letting me, whoops, sorry. I guess I'm having technical difficulties too.
Listen, apparently I'm infecting and impacting everyone today in their technology.
Okay, there. Okay. Well, I can do that by myself. I don't need help. Anyway, thank you for thank you for having me on the TED Show. My name is Linda Levesque. I am a licensed massage therapist. I also am a Usui Reiki master for 18 years. I also am a CA Kim Reiki practitioner on level 1 and 2. I've been doing that for about 17 years and 18 years. No, it was 17 years because I did it a year after. And then I also incorporate with my Reiki sessions. I usually, if I have you in my room, I also incorporate crystal therapy. So I use crystals. So Reiki is an alternative kind of modality. And
I'm still here. I'm just letting them see you.
Okay, is an alternative modality, and it's often described as the laying on of hands or hands on the body healing. The practitioner basically channels the energy to support the body's natural healing abilities. So we kind of bring it back into balance. The root concept is that disease is usually caused by an imbalance in the body, and the longer the imbalance, the more the body becomes unbalanced, the deeper the illness or the disease. So if you're a little unbalanced, you might get like migraines or stomach issues, big things like cancer and other things are usually imbalances that have been in the body for long periods of time. Reiki is broken down into two definitions. R-E-I part is universal energy, and the K part, which is the chi, is your life force energy. And so the practitioner brings those two energies together to help bring balance into the person that's receiving the treatment.
So tell me about that, because when I had it done, one time I've had it done, it was it was in person. And it almost, at that particular point, I think I'm an empath, so I'm kind of open to all of this 100%. I think being open is a very positive thing to be when you are entering into this world of healing that you're not necessarily used to. But I felt almost like a static electricity feel. And I have to tell you, I mean, the truth is I felt like somebody was already massaging me. I felt like they were physically touching me. So Reiki does not involve physical touch, though. It's energy.
Right. It does. Some people don't touch, but I like to put my hands on people because my hands get really, really hot. And it gets really, really hot. And if people are comfortable with that, I usually touch them appropriately.
I love it.
In the areas that would not be appropriate, I usually work over the body. So just so somebody doesn't get freaked out.
That's for the next show, Linda.
I know, right? Appropriate touch.
We'll do inappropriate touch later on.
There you go. There you go.
I think that people are intimidated by things like Reiki because they don't understand them. They're not necessarily mainstream medicine, obviously, that you've been dealing with or dealt with your whole life. When you add the word healing to it, people automatically get skeptical. But I'm a big believer in all of the things that go on in the body, have an energy, have a shock, cool stuff that goes on. And it's been a science, I'll call it a science. It's been a practice for thousands of years. This is not anything new. This isn't quote unquote new age. I had somebody comment on that before we went live. Oh, Ted, you're bringing the new age stuff in. No, I'm bringing an alternate, a possible life-saving healing practice to you. So you need to rephrase and reframe. So I'm just excited. I think that your energy is so positive. You immediately feel comfortable with you. And I know that the people who are on the receiving end, it's so important for them to feel some sort of connection to their healer.
Yeah. Yeah, well, in Japan, and I know that's not a famous topic with all this COVID, but Reiki healing was that has been done 5,000 years. It's been going on in Japan. And in their culture, they raise their children that when someone's sick, I mean, you'll see little 2 and 3-year-olds putting their hands on their grandparents. Our culture is not raised that way. We're
Right.
just not raised. We're raised, that when we're hurting, we hug our children and stuff. And that's a form of healing in itself. And, if you want to look at it, that's kind of a form of healing, Reiki healing. It's not, the Reiki healing you would receive here, but it is some form. Anytime you touch anybody, you can bring healing to them. And, the power of touch is probably the most powerful kind of healing. The only other type of healing is prayer.
Amen. All right. So I have to tell you my first, I don't know who's old enough to remember this movie. It was a movie called My Life, and it was Michael Keaton and Nicole Kidman. And he was videotaping as he was going through and kind of losing his battle to cancer. And he had a Reiki healer in that movie. And that's the first experience. This is 20 plus years ago, guys, maybe longer. And I was just mesmerized by the fact that both the healer and the person he was working on could immediately feel that energy. So it stuck in my mind. And so when I had it done, that was in sort of my mind, and I was wide open to it, and you could sense it. So it's different though for you, I imagine, trying to do this remote, because during COVID, you had to be the remote healer, you had to be the remote person, but I believe energy is energy, and so it is what it is. And you have managed to still heal and touch and impact people's lives, even with Zoom or StreamYard.
Yeah. The second part of the Reiki training is the second, because there's 3 parts to it. And the second part is to do distant healing. You learn how to be able to do that. And I've done that very often. My daughter lives up in Philadelphia, and she'll be the first one to tell you. Her name is Jessica. She was going through a rough patch, and I was doing healing, and I did it like about 5 or 6 in the morning. And she opened her eyes and she said, "You scared the heck out of me." She said, "I thought I saw you standing at the bottom of my bed." And I felt like I was there. I was so into the energy, But you can make your energy become as big as you want and send it wherever you want. The biggest thing, the benefits of Reiki, whether I'm doing it remotely or whether I'm doing hands-on. I did hospice for 8 years, and I worked with human traffic victims. I worked with rape victims. I worked with child abuse victims, young children. And I would go into medical facilities, and the response I would get when I would return would be, they slept better, they skipped a pain medication, their respiration lowered, their blood pressure lowered, they were able to sleep through the whole night. For some of these people, they never get a whole night's sleep, And one of my clients that ended up passing away from cancer, it doesn't, when people say healing, it's not that it's going to change the course and it just helps bring balance to the body so that it can heal itself, You know, your path is already made and it's not going to change that. But,
I
and I think,
love, go ahead.
no, that's okay. Go ahead.
I love that because I think that when you come in, your expectation, you have to kind of know, like if you come in and you are blinking and screaming, it may be a little bit more of a difficult process for you because you are not open to receiving the energy and the positive energy. And I know I sound like I'm new age guru. I'm going to get that later, but I feel very strongly that you have to be open to the healing. You have to be open to what you as the master, as the healer are going to provide. And this is for anything. People who get a massage, I think if you are in a bad, nasty mood and you're just going to go into it and it's an inconvenience, you're not going to have a great massage. It's the same thing with anything that you do with your body, mind, spirit. You have to be in the place. And if you're not, you have to at least trust your masseuse, your LMT, your master there to take you where they believe you need to go.
Well, you know, my experience with that, that's very true. You'll receive a maximum amount of healing, but some of the rape victims I worked with and the human trafficked women, they're very closed off emotionally, mentally, physically. That was how they survived and got through it. And the
Yep.
healing still occurs, and it looks very different for all of them. For some of them, it was they couldn't stop crying after because there was all this grief and sadness in them, and that's a healing in itself, you know. And I never have a perception of what that healing is going to be. And I was, you know, and they returned, and you know, it was very slow and progressive, but over the course of time they were able to feel themselves in their body again, which was something that they couldn't do before they came to see me. So
Miraculous.
you know, so the healing does occur. It just happens in a different way and at a different
So
pace.
we all know that I have no problems, no health problems, no mental health issues. I don't know exactly what you're going to do for me. Hello, that is all sarcasm, guys, in case you're not getting it. So I'm ready. So tell me, prepare us for what you're going to do.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 8 minutes of working on you. I've kind of already prepared the space, a space for us. I'm just going to ground myself. It'll probably take me a couple of minutes. But for about 8 minutes, I'm going to be working on you. I'm going to have my eyes closed, and you may see my hands move, you know, and that's just that I'm visualizing being there physically and working on him, even though we're distance. And then at the end of that, I will close the session, and then we will take a couple minutes and I will tell you the impressions of what I felt, what I saw. You know, I don't have any expectations when I come in, so I leave myself wide open because I never know what's going to come, you know, and what you
And then what do
need,
I
you
need to
know,
do? Do I need to close
and what
my eyes? Do I close
I
my eyes?
just be, yeah, you can just be relaxed, sit back and, you know, rest back in your chair, be
What I just
comfortable,
did? Like,
yeah, make sure your feet are flat on the floor. We need you grounded. And I just gotta, hopefully this won't tip over. I had to use my phone to stabilize the
technology
pedestal
again,
that
Linda. It's crazy.
I know, I'm telling you, you know, I can do the energy work, but just don't ask me to do technology. It just is not going to work.
Not your
In fact,
thing.
well, you know, even though I send Reiki to it, you know, sometimes it doesn't work.
It's
It
not
doesn't like,
listening.
I know, right? So we will start now. I'm going to take my
Okay.
glasses off and the
Okay.
alarm will go off, and then that'll be our key. That'll be my key to come back. Take a deep breath, Ed. Okay, Ted, you can come back whenever you're ready. So anyway, how you feeling? Probably not so anxious anymore, huh?
Definitely relaxed. Most
There was a
definitely.
lot there was a lot of anxiety when I came into your energy field. I kept taking a deep breath, and that was like that tells me there was so much there was so much anxiety in here, that I was pulling it not fast enough to get rid of it, so I was releasing it with my breath. So, and we all know the technical difficulties you've had all day today, so that probably created some of it.
That's normally where it comes from. But yes, I can
So,
feel that. I can tell
so
you
we
that. Go ahead. I'll let you give, and I'll tell
no,
you what I
no,
felt.
no. You go ahead and tell me how you feel, and then I will, you know,
So,
tell you what I got.
I'm open to this, and what I want to encourage people is that if you're out there thinking that this doesn't, there's no way it could work in general, let alone long distance, I'm going to tell you that that is inaccurate. Um, I immediately felt a cool feeling around my hands. And so I went with that. And then just, you have to be open to this stuff, right? So if you feel it and it's something that you're not used to feeling, then guess what, guys? There's something going on. And that's the part I want to encourage people. But I felt, I guess I carry a lot of stuff in my hands. And so I felt that cooling almost immediately. And then I'm like, all right, well, I want the rest of the body to feel that. So I just kind of let it go. And it was relaxing. I caught myself twice, maybe three times, going, if you go any deeper, you're going to snore. So I decided I didn't want to snore live on Facebook. But I imagine that that's good. So that's my feeling. I definitely feel relaxed. I feel I can still feel that residual cooling effect, and that's just how my body, spirit, soul happens to take it. And I still feel it. I feel it in my shoulders right now. So it was wonderful.
Thank you. So you made a couple good points there that I want to bring out. The cooling, feeling the cold or the cooling, that is feminine energy, and that's emotions. So you probably had an imbalance there, and that we were moving some of that. Um, the sleeping and the wanting to snore. The maximum amount of healing happens when we're sleeping. And so 90% of the time, people fall asleep on my table. Even my A-type personalities, where their minds don't shut down, they are out cold. So that's a good confirmation for me. I felt I worked a lot on your lungs. And that is daily being able to do the details in life. So I kind of cleared the lungs. Anxiety, most people feel it in in here, their heart chakra, and, you know, at the top of their stomach. And so we cleared some of that energy. I quieted your mind, first, because that was kind of like running. And if I can usually quiet the mind, then I can get the people to relax. And then I went to your root chakra. I spent a lot of time for your navel chakra and your root chakra, which are the first two chakras. I felt your physical. So let me just explain something. The top three
Yes,
chakras,
please.
because you have seven. You have seven chakras. You have the crown chakra, the third eye, the throat chakra. The heart chakra is the middle ground. The heart chakra is right where your heart is, and where your lungs are. And that's the bridge between your spiritual, which are the upper chakras, and your lower, which are the physical chakras. And I worked with a lot. The navel chakra is around your belly button, a couple inches below, and the root chakra is in your sexual parts, in that area. And I worked a lot of there with you. That sacral chakra has a lot to do with your feeling, your family, your security, your safety, your finances, your a whole bunch of that. And the sacral chakra is your self-confidence and your self-esteem. But the lower chakras, because what I mainly got from you was because it was your lower chakras, it was your physical body that was drained, what I was seeing, especially the root chakra. That's usually the lower colon, that's usually the testicles or the ovaries, those kinds of things. I felt like there was some trauma in there. And I felt like it was very depleted. So I opened it up and I filled it with energy and put some color back in it, and I closed it down. Size of chakras usually should be about the size of a 50-cent piece. And your navel chakra and because I can see those, not everybody can see. So to my non-believers, I use a pendulum so they can see it moving, before and after for my non-believers. But I can see people's chakras and people's auras, and those two were lack of color and they were wide open. So they were very, very depleted. I feel like your physical body is still recouping. And I think I saw somewhere where you had an illness and you were going through. So I feel like your body is still going into that healing process. It's still trying to balance itself out. What else? The spiritual chakras were great. So that is, to me, I love when I see that, because that means that your spiritual side is probably what got you through whatever gets you through a lot. Your sense of humor and stuff. It tells me that also.
That definitely is what helps.
So that was pretty much what I got, and I just
I
felt
love
like I was
that.
balancing.
I feel like, so Amy Thurston, I love this comment, chakra. Tell us again what a chakra is. And I want to give you that because I feel like it could have gone any way. I believe the spiritual side is definitely in a good place. But as you guys all know, I have prostate cancer. I just finished radiation. And so it is super
Okay.
important body wise to get that feeling and get everybody reconnected again and get that whole thing cleared or colorful. I love that. That's a better thing. So tell them again what a chakra is.
So a chakra is a Sanskrit word and it means turning wheel. And so your chakras you have 7 major ones and they follow your central nervous system from the top of your head to the tailbone. And the first one is the root chakra, and that's the base spine, and it's your survival. It's financial independence, family, money, food. It's red, and the element is earth. And that's usually your spine, your glandular, and that's where your sex organs are, your testicles, your ovaries, those kind of things. And so that's
And
what
that's
that
tied
one
to the
is.
physical. That's tied to the physical. Yes.
That's the physical. That's the lower part. So
Gotcha.
that is a physical or a material kind of chakra. Um, it develops around 1 to 7 years old. Uh, and there's a lot more I could tell about it, but that's all I'm going to give because I know I'm limited. So the second chakra is around your belly button. It's about 2 fingers below your belly button. And that is the sacral chakra, and that controls your abundance, your well-being, your pleasure, your sexuality. Um, and that color is orange, and that element is water, and water is very soothing. Um, and that develops around the time between the ages of 8 and 14. And then that is your digestive. That's all your digestive. Um, your kidneys, your bladder, those kind of organs. Your solar plex is right in the middle of your body where the U is, your diaphragm and your lung rib cage comes. It's right in the center there. And that color is that's also, I'm still in the physical body.
Right.
And that is your upper abdomen, and that's your stomach, your diaphragm, adrenals, liver, and that controls self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem, excuse me, and that's yellow, and that element is fire. Then you have the heart chakra. It's right here in the middle of your chest. It's right here. Your heart is to the left, and it's right in the directly over to the right, more in the middle. And that's the bridge between the spiritual chakras that we're going to start to go into in your physical, and it bridges the two together to keep you balanced. And that is it controls your love and your joy and your inner peace. And that color is green, and the element is air for that one. So you have all the elements, and that usually develops between the ages of 21 and 28. Then you have your throat chakra, which is right here, and it's right where your thyroid is, right in the middle. I don't know if you can see that, if I
Yes,
raise
I
my
can.
head.
I see it.
Okay. And that's your throat chakra, and that controls your communications, your self-expression, and your truth. And that voices your heart chakra. And our heart chakra is where we get our actions from. When you're doing things from a loving place, your actions show you that.
Right.
And it also gives you your voice for your boundaries, your space, and what you want and what you need. And the element for that is sound and music, believe it or not. And the color is light. The color is light blue. I love the throat chakra. And the sixth chakra is the third eye, and that's right here between the bridge. It's over the bridge of your nose between your eyes, and that is intuition, imagination, and wisdom. And we've talked about that in the other class when I did the tapping. And this is your reasoning. And when this shuts down, you can't make good decisions. And that's the part when you're in trauma, it kind of just shuts down. It protects you. Your brain protects you. And that's usually dark blue. I have seen it. I've seen spiritual people where it's purple because purple is the next chakra. And that element is the light chakra. The last chakra is the crown chakra, and it's right at the top of your head, right in the direct middle. It's, in other words, you would call it your bald spot. Men usually get bald there first. Not to, but it just gives you an imagination. It kind of gives you a point if you've seen a bald person, that spot right on the top of their head. And that controls your inner and your outer beauty and your spiritual connection. And that usually is purple or violet, and that's where the light comes in. The universal energy comes in through that. So that's, your heart, your third eye, and your crown chakra are your upper body spiritual chakras. And those usually develop between the ages of 43 and 49. And I find that a lot of
Why
people
so
come into
late,
their
Linda?
gifts
Why so late,
because,
Tony?
because I think that, with the higher key of growth that we have to do, you have to have a little bit of life experience with that. And I find actually that's when my gifts really started too. That was about the age. Actually, I started a little younger. I started a little bit younger than that. I was probably in my 30s. I mean, I've always been spiritual. I've always seen kind of weird things and heard weird stuff,
Me too.
It's just it just is how I am. I'm an old soul, and old souls come in go doing those things,
My
They
kids
learned
got
their
the gift. My kids got the gift too. So
yeah, my kid.
they're not real
Well,
happy
yeah.
about it right now, but they did. We have a question.
Okay.
Let's see if I can't read it. Have a brain injury, life isn't right, or can change chakra. So we've got somebody who's wonders if you can help heal what she has going on with Reiki or with all the wonderful things that you do.
Well, it depends on the healing. Will it heal the physical damage? I'm not really sure. I know that it will help bring a lot more of acceptance. I would, the body is going to correct itself the way it wants to. I have no
Correct.
control over that.
Agreed.
And everybody's body is different, and when I was working with people who had cancer, it didn't change their outcome. They still were going to die. but it
Right.
made the process that they were in a little bit more easier. They were more
Correct.
at peace with it. So, I don't know if that answers the question. I really
Well, Amy,
think
make
that,
sure Amy Thurston's the one that asked. Amy, reach out to Linda. I've tagged her. That's
okay,
really what this show is about. It's not just about TED, even though it is the TED show. It's about getting the message out there and having great leaders and healers like Linda on that you can reach out to.
thank you.
All right, so we are, excuse me. The storm just came in. If you can't see, I had to turn the lights on. And so I'm literally surrounded in this room. It was pitch black almost. So how can people reach you? First of all, I have to say thank you for that. I still feel the tingly chill all over my body now. It's legs, knees right now. I felt it in my feet earlier. You guys, this stuff is real. I 1000% believe in it. So if you want to learn more, you want to engage Linda, what's the best way they can reach out to you, Linda?
Okay, I want to address the still feeling before I go into that real shortly.
Please do. Please.
So, Reiki can last up to 7 days. Drinking lots of water will keep that energy moving. And you'll sleep like a baby tonight. I'll guarantee that. But
Good.
people can reach me at Naturolutions. I can put that in the chat box if you want.
I think it's it's scrolling across the bottom. But you can
That's
put
my
it in chat.
that's my website.
Okay.
But my web that's my website. Naturolutions775 @gmail is my email address, and my phone number, I'm going to put it in the chat. I will put my business phone number in there, and I just did that and hit it, so it should come up.
Fantastic. Oop. I think we lost her. This is what happens with technology. Listen, you all reach out to her. I can't make that up. I'm not going to lie ever. And so I felt it. I felt the energy. I still feel the cool. You can't make this up. Look, I'm in the middle of the Citrus Club in a room and I feel cold. And I mean cold in a good way. It's like that good muscle cold. I felt it almost immediately with what Linda was doing. I'm also open to it. So if you're going to engage someone like Linda, do your best to be open. But I'm going to tell you that it's life-changing. It definitely makes a difference, and you can feel it and see it. So we love you guys. Thank you so much. Reach out to Linda. She's absolutely one of the best human beings on the planet. Thank you so much from another amazing human being, Carol Ann Flesh, for making the intro. We're going to have Linda back on and do some stuff. I'm feeling tingly and chilled. We love you guys. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Have a good one.